Welcome back. You're still watching Daybreak on this 14th day of March 2023. My name is Sam Gituku and I want to introduce the panelists already in studio. We have Pauline Lenguruis, who is the woman representative for Samburu County. Good morning, Mheshimiwa. Good morning. And I have Senator Richard Onyonka from Kisii County. Good morning.
Morning, Sammy. Good morning.
We're still expecting Senator Dan Manzo from Makueni constituency and also one John Kagusha, the Member of Parliament for Mukureni constituency in Nyeri County. As soon as they're here, they'll be joining us on the panel to have this conversation. But I want us to begin by looking at the latest in the two dailies. The front page of the Daily Nation is the deal that saved Matiang'i. And they are revealing that 4 days after a meeting between 3 MPs and President William Ruto brokered a ceasefire, the DPP yesterday declared the former cabinet secretary a free man, saying he had no case to answer. It is also the main story on the front page of the Standard, Matiang'i case, the intrigues. As the DPP was arriving at the conclusion to drop charges against former Interior CS, a flurry of meetings were taking place to manage Gusii politics. And you see some detailed report on page 4 of the Standard, why DPP Haji declined to charge ex-CS. So they've given a bit of details there. Consequently, after a thorough and independent analysis of the evidence contained in the duplicate police file forwarded to my office for perusal and advice, I find that the ingredients to sustain the proposed charge against Dr. Fred Okengo Matiang'i have not been met. And of course, we know that there has been other matters that different agencies have been pursuing as former CS Matiang'i for. Unity talks to weaken Raila in Gusii helped free Matiang'i. A raft of meetings held by Gusii leader preceded his clearance by the DPP. President is keen to change the tide in regions sympathetic to the opposition. We will embrace Matiang'i. I attended the Thursday meeting, State House meeting, and told President we need exactly that. I am strongly no DM and will remain objective. This is Daniel Kibagendi from Nyeri Masaba constituency. And of course, less than 12 hours after the current meeting, Matiang'i was cleared of any wrongdoing. The Standard is reporting of what preceded all this, and they're saying that a meeting, South Mugirango, MP Silvana Sosoro, who's also the majority whip in Parliament, told the Standard had President Ruto's blessings, and he's quoted as saying that I attended the Sunday meeting. It was sanctioned by the president. And let's begin there. Senator Onyonka.
Yes.
You're the Senator of Kisii. Were you aware of this meeting? And is it true that indeed this is what brokered the freedom that CS Matiang'i now enjoys?
Actually, Sammy, this whole thing started last week. And I think it started when I was here and you had asked the question essentially on what was going on in terms of the way everything was playing out. Mm-hmm. The truth is a lot of people have been putting effort to try and stop whatever that was going on.
Right.
And many of them were practicing quiet diplomacy. I had a small role to play. The lawyers had a role to play. Mm. Honorable Patrick Osero is the Member of Parliament for Dr. Matiang'i. Mm-hmm. As an MP, you see, when you go home, your voters, the first question they'll ask you, if Matiang'i was arrested, you'll go there and say, Kwani, what did you do?
Right.
Why didn't you save your brother? And, you know, why didn't you come up with something? You know, the voters always ask you to try and solve all the problems. And also another thing that is interesting is that Osero, Kibagendi, and Manduku, at their own personal levels, they actually have a relationship with the president. Mm-hmm. So when we were at DCI pushing and trying to show the public, which I think we succeeded in doing, that this was not a legal matter, mm-hmm. we had realized that this has been a political matter. Right. And we felt that politics, sometimes used well, can achieve such a result. And that's why the team of three, in their own quiet way, I was aware, Honorable Soro, very good young man. He was working something behind the scenes, me and him. The CS, Mr. Machogu, had been tasked by the president, I believe, to look for people who are influential around Matiang'i and people who have a big say in the Kisii community. Mm-hmm. And in a comprehensive manner, I believe we then succeeded because Dr. Fred was supposed to be arrested on Friday. So when we realized that there was no arrest, that is now when everybody started moving around. And I'll tell you...
what do you mean was supposed to be arrested on Friday?
Because the charge sheet we had was saying that you can go, but we will pick you out whatever time we want. And they had actually mentioned that Friday was most probably going to be the next time they would arrest him. So that all went on. But I want to tell you this. I believe that this matter amicably has come to its conclusion for the simple reason that the DPP, Honorable Haji, and his counterpart, the boss at ESCC, they actually became professional. The information we had gotten was that they had a very professional view. They said they didn't have much to charge Matiang'i with. And therefore, they were going to try, I think, either consult the president or...
But it is not ESCC that had presented the file to the DPP. It was just the DCI. There's a separate matter involving...
No, the ESCC had already started looking at his properties.
Which is a separate matter that...
That is true, but for us, we looked at it as a joint matter. The two issues were related.
But you know, the letter by ESCC CEO to the Chief of Staff,
yes,
which is, who is Felix Koskei,
yes,
is specific on being provided with the information, the declaration, wealth declaration forms from 2012 to 2022.
Yes.
They were still profiling him to see how much he has, what he has declared over time. That has nobody has spoken about that yet.
No, but to you, what does that mean? Why would I come and start checking on your properties?
Because you're a state officer who is
negative. I'm an MP who has been calling me to ask me about my properties.
But you're required to file your declaration forms.
Oh, we file. We file.
Yeah. And therefore,
all members of the House plus the senators, all of them, we file.
And therefore, if ESCC at some point feels that the information you've provided is not accurate,
yes,
they have a right.
Who else have they done that to in Kenya?
Many.
Who else?
But it has to begin with someone.
No. But who else?
The form
how come exceptionally they have to start snooping?
Senator, when you file your form, isn't it individual?
No, Sammy, how come Matiang'i is the example now? I've been in Parliament for the last, 15, 18 years? My brother, nobody's properties under Chapter 6 have ever been followed or analyzed by ESCC or even a story issue that we are now or a letter written.
So you think it's...
Unless, wait, unless somebody was going to be charged or there's an intent by ESCC to prosecute somebody, they will then start snooping around. Or when they want to find out that the properties are yours, they want to confiscate them and they want to take you to court over the same. So for us, what we looked at was that these two officers, the top people managing them, were professional enough not to have given the recommendation. So when I even saw yesterday the DPP talking about how they found there was nothing they could charge Dr. Matiang'i with, I actually felt that it was good that some office, which is entitled to manage an institution that is supposed to manage such a matter, handled it professionally.
But in the conversations, in the discussions, was the ESCC matter mentioned?
Yes, frequent. That's why you remember the question that Matiang'i was asked in the DCI office was, what are your properties? Where are they? Remember? That's what they asked him.
I'm asking, in the discussion with the president, these members of parliament with the president, did they also discuss the ESCC matter? I
believe they must have, but they didn't tell us that.
Okay.
They were purely saying, can you have Matiang'i not getting arrested because it's becoming bad politically.
Okay, I'll get to you, but let me first introduce and welcome Senator Dan Manzo from Makueni County. Good morning.
Thank you.
And we have John Kagusha, Member of Parliament from Mukurweini constituency. Good morning.
Good morning.
I haven't seen you in ages. Looks like you disappeared after joining Parliament.
This guy used to be a deputy governor.
No, he was Speaker.
He was
Speaker of Nyeri.
Yes, that's the one that was
Speaker of Nyeri.
Oh, you became an MP?
Yes.
Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, so Honorable Pauline, tell me, what do you make of this? Because it's been a very dramatic month of February, getting into the first week of March, to end up with the evidence provided cannot sustain a charge. After all what has happened, what does that mean?
Sammy, you know, people say a lot of things. President Ruto is the president of this country. And any Kenyan, any member of parliament, or any person can have an appointment with the president. So there was nothing wrong for the 3 members of parliament who went to see the president with whichever reason. Number 2, I believe that the DPP of this country is an independent institution. And once they have a case and they investigate and they find that there is no reason to do further investigations, I think they have a reason to disclose the case and close the file. So for me, I think they handled their case professionally, and they arrived at whatever decision they arrived professionally after doing the investigations, because Matiang'i is like any other Kenyan who should go through the same process that any other Kenyan can go through. Filing declaration of wealth is a procedure that must be done by any state officer, and it was not unique for Matiang'i to do that, but all of us. And if there is any reason for them to continue doing further investigation, I think no one can stop the DPP from doing that. So for me, I think the case was handled professionally, and they advised the president and the country in the right way.
But doesn't it concern you? Because on 8th of February, CS Matiang'i's family claimed that there had been police officers that had raided their home, and media covered that live. And then he was being investigated about that. On the 15th of February, there was actually a raid by police officers going there to get CCTV material. A week later, he was wanted at the DCI. Then he flew out of the country, came back, goes to the DCI to record a statement, of course, writes nothing. Then now we are told that close this file. Doesn't it concern you, all that drama?
It was done because there was a reason for doing it. Because first, Matiang'i claimed that there were police in his premises, which was not true, because the CCTV cameras were not able to show. So that was the reason why they went back again to put up the case, because you cannot claim something that is not true. So that's what precipitated the rest, the next visit to the DCI. Yeah.
Okay. Senator Manzo, I mean, what do you make of these proceedings? From drama to now, close this file, do not investigate further. Previously, we've had the DPP saying you need to investigate further and close the gaps that there are. But this one is, it's a summary closure of the file.
You know, as a lawyer, I was part of this. And when I attended the DCI offices, accompanied by Honorable Raila Odinga, together with other lawyers, the senator for Nairobi, we were blocked at the gate, and we were told CS Matiang'i has only been allowed four lawyers. In fact, Senator Onyonga was there. And there was a lot of drama there. We were locked out, and the police said they were waiting for orders from above, and we should not, you know, access the premises. This is a public office. It's a place, as a lawyer, I've always gone there for many years. For political cases or any other cases, and there is no day we have ever been locked out. And you could see the guns and the policemen just following up the matter. And the lawyers who were inside were with Matiang'i, and the proposed charges were truly nonsense. And you see misuse of state power and misuse of police to advance a political agenda. You know, if Matiang'i lied about the police visiting his premises, he would have been charged with giving misleading information to police. First of all, a person the level of Matiang'i, who has handled security of this country, should have security officers at all material times. So his premises should be guarded by the government. And therefore, this story would never have arisen if there were official policemen guarding his residence. And that's what should happen, because this is somebody with very crucial information about the security of this country. This is not somebody you discard as a government as soon as their term of service is over. It's the same level with the president, the deputy presidents of this country, how you guard them, even after their service. This is a person who is very important to the nation for whatever reason, having been been having security briefs of this country, and is a person who can easily be targeted by people who don't like this country or terrorists. Therefore, is somebody, first of all, it's the mistake of the government and the police system. There should always be police officers at his gate. But what we see, and they would have given information as to his security. So the whole of this has been an effort to frustrate him, and unfortunately, and unlike what the president promised, that he did not need police to do his politics. He's actually using police to do his politics. I have followed the matter very keenly. I've had discussions with the MP Osoro, who is his member of parliament, who was very concerned with what was happening and how the people were very unhappy on the ground by what the government of Ruto was doing to Matiang'i. There was no law here. There was no case. This was pure politics. It was pure malice, and I think the state should apologize for it. In fact, CS Matiang'i should sue the state for wrongful detention, for mistreatment.
He was detained.
He was detained for 10 hours. 8 hours. That was detention, unlawful detention. Totally. Denied access to his lawyers, like myself.
I thought it was questioned.
It is an abuse. There is no questioning which was going on there. It was an abuse of state power.
There was nothing to
That was the investigation.
There is no investigation which is conducted like that. I'm a lawyer of many years. I am very sorry. The whole police system has embarrassed this country. This is not how police operates professionally. I was part of it. I followed it. I have been a lawyer for many years in this country. I saw part of the Moi regime as a lawyer. It was never as nasty as it got this time. I saw President Kibaki, how the police were free to operate. This is not law. This is a lot of nonsense. It is misuse of political power and misuse of police and misuse of police time and resources. Can you imagine people are dying on the north and we have over 20 policemen fully armed, just making sure that Honorable Raila Odinga, Senator Orengo, Maanzo, and the Senator for Nairobi, Sifuna, cannot access DCI. It's really nonsense.
Okay.
Trust me, it is nonsense. I have a lot of business at DCI offices. I'm an officer of the court.
Matiang'i was...
I'm an officer of the court. The police are officers of the court.
But there were other lawyers. He had other lawyers.
No, you cannot be limited the number of lawyers you'll have. The government has embarrassed our country.
I hear you. Mheshimiwa Kagushia, is it unusual for the DPP to close a file and give instructions that he wants no further action into it? And then secondly, how do we account for all the drama that we've seen for those close to 4 weeks that amounts to what you're saying now?
If you ask me, this drama was unnecessary. And I think part of this drama is caused by the Matiang'i's legacy. You know, sometimes we say that if you make a bed, so must you lie on it. Matiang'i made this, what my friend here and brother, Honorable Maanzo, calls nonsense. Matiang'i made this nonsense in police service. And I think what we are seeing now is just force of inertia. You know, when you are on a very high motion and you stop, there is tendency to continue moving. So the police force has been set up for this nonsense. And what is happening is there's still some force of inertia. Yeah? The only challenge here is that inertia is carrying the boss himself who set it up. And it's unfortunate. I think we should not go that direction. And first, to start from where did we begin? We began by Matiang'i stage managing an arrest and a raid in his house. Something which in every way you want to look at it, honorable members, is extremely embarrassing.
How do you know that that is true?
That's what
you know. How can you ask that, Sam?
You don't have that.
You know,
Where's the evidence?
No. I think I'm the one. I think I'm the one on the floor.
Please, let me ask
it's very embarrassing, by the way. It's very embarrassing. It's very embarrassing.
You don't have the
extremely
evidence.
embarrassing.
You don't have the evidence.
Extremely embarrassing.
The DCC has said
Sam,
they cannot charge him.
extremely embarrassing.
Senator, please. Can I just ask the question?
The DCC has said it.
Yes.
You know,
Don't come here and say...
Senator, please.
Matiang'i is not here to defend.
you know, the truth of the matter is...
Can I ask the question?
Thank you, sir.
The truth of the matter is...
Honorable Kagushia, I'm asking
yes,
you, no, just
yes.
hold on. You're saying that he stage managed
a raid in his house.
At his home.
Yeah.
This is a matter that was being investigated by the police.
Yes.
They drew charges and took them to the DPP.
Yeah.
The DPP has said it does not meet the evidential threshold and therefore closed the file. So how will you ever know?
You know, I have told you, and we have agreed, and here you have discussed about the drama, and I have told you, for me, I dismissed that drama. It was not necessary. I think the embarrassment that has been caused to CS Matiang'i just by discovery that he was lying, that he was under raid in his house, I think that is sufficient to serve him.
How do you know what you're telling me is the truth?
No, it is
yet
true.
the DPP has taken no ground.
You know, and this is one of the issues that we actually pick to the media, and you know, as we are talking now, is even under the Media Council. And I mean, we had news, breaking news, Matiang'i's home under attack, under raid. And for heaven's sake, there was no camera by the media which was declaring that there was an attack in his house. And this continued for like a whole night.
Sammy.
But there was nobody who could be able to show the raid. Even the media, which had said there was a break into his house, there was nobody who could show that raid. We asked for the photos. The public demanded to see how was this raid happening. I mean, if your house is under siege, you will see cameras all over, the media all over, you know, looking at and showing the details. In fact, they will say account by account of the raid of Matiang'i's house. But the truth of the matter is, there was no raid. Every Kenyan knows that. And by the way, Kenyans are on record, and even the president is on record, saying that this government is not going to be dealing with the issues of revenge. And I can tell you, the narrative that has been created, or that have been trying to create, is that narrative of revenge, that this government is revenging. And I can tell you, nobody is interested in revenging. And that is why you see the president saying, stop it. I mean, nobody is willing to revenge. And I know for sure. Sam, I'll come to that. Let me just finish my point. Let me just finish my point. You know what is happening? Raila Odinga has moved to the streets to do man-to-man. Unfortunately, Kenyans are not interested. You have seen business communities from all towns, including Kisumu and everywhere else, have risen and have said, we are not interested in Mandamano because this is going to contribute to the detriment of our already ailing economy. And what is happening is that almost all Kenyans are really interested in continuing with their daily life. And in fact,
he has now gone to Raila.
I'm explaining the point. I'm laying the base.
Sammy, I feel like I'm wasting my time.
I'm laying the base of my point. I'm laying the base of my point. You know, now Kenyans have refused to get into the Mandamano and to the mass action arrangement. And now what the Azimio has been trying to do is to look for points
we'll get to that topic.
Kenyans angry.
Just hold on, we'll get to that topic. But let me ask you this. You've seen the story on page 4 of the Standard. Unity talks to weaken Raila in Gusii helped free Matiang'i, and they are citing a meeting of some 3 members of parliament, including Osoro, with the president that will embrace Matiang'i. I attended the Thursday State House meeting and told the president to need exactly that. I'm strongly in ODM and we will remain objective. And I'm just wondering, if a meeting with the president can actually end such a matter, then who caused it?
You know, this has been political drama. Matiang'i started the game and he was trying to get public sympathy and public anger so that people can get angry to get into the Mandamano. People have refused, and now
you're not getting what I'm asking.
And I want
to respect your answer, but the question I'm asking you, if the president can stop it, then who started it from the government side?
You know, what was happening is trying to teach Matiang'i a lesson. It is political.
By who?
I mean, this politics. That what was happening, and I know this was happening from the same police that he created this kind of shenanigans. And what the president is saying, police, please.
Who was teaching him the lesson?
I mean, the police wanted to teach him a lesson.
You just told me it is political. Police officers...
Yes, police have been politicized. You know that, by Matiang'i. And now they want to teach him a political lesson. And the president has said no.
For whose benefit?
For the, you know, police were maligned, but they had raided his house, which they had not. So they now wanted to deal with him politically. The president has said, stop this shenanigan. That's why they have presented a file to the DPP.
Honorable Kagusha, that's fine.
Let me tell you, you know, when dictators are made, their sycophants keep screaming and ranting about how people have to be taught lessons, and they had a view of taking a different political position because according to them, my brother, Matiang'i worked for your government with your president, Uhuru. And William Ruto was the deputy president. They were giving Matiang'i instructions on what to do. And let me tell you, my brother.
And tell them that the house was raided.
No.
Please, let's one person at a time.
Matiang'i worked under President Uhuru and Deputy President William Ruto. Matiang'i was working under your instructions. Whatever he did, it was under your see. So stop telling us you are legit. Don't revisionist. Don't revise our history. We know it. What we are actually saying, Mr. Speaker, may I call you that? What we are saying is this. Accept that you people mismanaged this thing. Accept that your government is revengeful and vengeful. Stop those things you're doing. Carry on with the issue of governance and stop these political sideshows which are making everybody think your government is not moving. Leave Raila alone. If you believe the public doesn't care about him, leave him alone. Let this country move on. President Ruto was sworn in. He's the president. We respect him. Allow me. But our country allows us to do what Raila is doing, to demonstrate and picket peacefully. Do not insult anybody. And so far you see Raila's rallies, they've moved on. That is the Kenya we have found. Wait. If you guys want a dictatorship, call a referendum. Let us agree to have a president who rules by fiat. Let us make sure that we hold no elections, which are genuine and believable. Let us make sure the president rules for 50 years. But before we do that,
Sam,
this is a country that is free. This is a country that I will defend you the way I was defending Matiang'i. Given a chance, if somebody today comes up and I'm informed that when you are the Speaker of Nyeri County, that they are framing you for having stolen money, and you'll see me at DCI. So let us not justify. Wait, let me finish.
Close it.
Honorable Speaker Emeritus, let me say this. What is happening to Matiang'i can happen to you. So let us have a country. If Matiang'i made a mistake, let us not use him as an example. Let us create better examples. Thank you, my brother.
Can the senator face Kenyans and tell them that on that fateful night, Matiang'i's house was raided?
Thank you. You don't have
face Kenyans and tell them that?
Listen, I don't.
You know this hypocrisy.
Listen, Speaker.
Kagusha, you have posed a challenge.
Kagusha, I'm not the police. The DCI has come. They have told you the evidence is not there. They can't charge him. Who are you to say? Then go and tell people out here Matiang'i is a thief or is a criminal. But if the DCI has written
on that note,
there's an answer to that.
Yeah.
If Matiang'i was treated right by the current government as a former cabinet secretary in charge of security in this country, there would have been security officers of very high rank guarding his home, and this story would never have happened. They would have come out and said, we are taking care of his security. ABC did not happen. But what did they do? They have withdrawn Matiang'i's security.
Okay, all right.
They should give him security, state security.
You know, that is news. That Matiang'i's security has been. Is it factual?
Kagusha, when we come back, we'll be talking about the operation in the North Rift that is in its fourth week now. Some announcement was made on Sunday that the people living in 27 now plus gorges, escarpments, and areas suspected to be hideouts, they need to vacate. We've seen that, and we'll talk about that after the break. Stay tuned.